Good morning, dear friends. My today's guest is Mr. Satyaranjan Bora of Assam province of India. He has recently written a book criticizing Islam, and he was brought to my attention by a few followers of mine, and I was requested to approach him to find out what was his take about Islam. So I'm going to call him now because we have a pre-arranged timing where we decided to talk on a friendly level. So I'm giving him a call now. Good morning. Declined. I'll call him now again. Calling him now. It is ringing. Good morning, Mr. Bora.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to talk to me.
How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for asking. It is a pleasure to have you.
It's my pleasure. It is my pleasure.
Okay. Could you first of all please introduce
It
yourself?
is my pleasure to talk.
Could you please first of all introduce yourself, your political background, and I understand you have written a book. So could you please tell us about it?
Yeah. See, this is not my first book.
Okay.
This is my seventh book.
Okay.
I used to write since 2001.
Okay.
I also used to make films.
Mm-hmm.
Films like not fictional films, documentary films.
Right.
And one of my documentary films is available on YouTube. You may search it, The Living Culprit.
Okay.
It is on environment pollution.
Right.
And if you want to know about my political career, I joined politics in 2011.
Okay.
I am an engineer by profession. I was in USA. So I married to a Christian girl. So this is what.
And your political background. Would you be able to give us more light about your political background?
See, I am associated with Bharatiya Janata Party.
And your present position?
I am state vice president of one of the brother wing of Bharatiya Janata Party. This is Kishan Morcha.
Kishan
You can
Morcha.
say the farmers wing. I think you may know.
Right.
The farmers wing of the BJP.
Right.
Kishan Morcha, the state vice president for Assam.
Okay. And could you please tell us about the book that you have written? And I have done a bit of a online search about it, and it seems that it has created quite a furore. And would you be able to reflect on that? What is going on with this book?
See, the purpose of the book is very clear.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people who are talking about my book
Mm-hmm.
are not going inside the book. They are just trying to avoid the book. They are just trying to ignore the book, and they are just trying to create such a situation that they can defame me. They can defame the book.
Okay.
The book is not to defame Islam, not to defame Muslim, not to defame Quran.
Mm-hmm.
I read the Quran in 3 languages.
Right.
As you know, I used to read in madrasa up to my class 7
Right.
standard. I was in a madrasa.
Okay.
Though I am a Hindu, but I read up to 7 standard in a madrasa.
Right.
So a lot of things what I feel during my school days in the madrasa I have written in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I start reading the Quran in Assamese language in Bangla and in English.
Right.
In English, I follow the Mansur Ali Sahab.
Right.
So then what I feel, like some points, it's not the whole Quran, but some facts, some points are there, which has created a lot of confusion in my mind.
Okay.
Like see, every time in India, people say that India is a secular country and we have to be secular, we have to respect each and every religion. No doubt about it. India is secular, India was secular, and India will be secular, because if you consider the Indian culture, it always adopt, it always invite, it always accept the others. The Indian culture and history says that India never denied anything. From the Parsis, Mughals, Britishers, and whatever it is, India always accept everything. So India was secular, India is secular, India will be secular because of its cultural values.
Right.
But when I go into the book Quran, first point which strike me, like you cannot make friends with non-believers, means who does not believe in Islam, you cannot make friends.
Okay.
This was the first ayat which struck in my mind. Why? And they said, see, there are a lot of words you may agree with me, like jihad is there in the Quran. And it has also written like you can fight, you can do whatever you want to, like Islamization, what I can understand from the book. Now my question was, see, what jihad we are realizing or we are experiencing. It is jihad, what we have seen, like saying uttering Allahu Akbar, ayas used to kill the people. In India, in the name of love jihad, a lot of Muslim people, Muslim youths used to change their name and used to kidnap Hindu girls. I have no problem with the love between inter-religion, inter-caste. I have no problem. Even I married a Christian girl, so I don't have any problem in inter-religion marriages, relationships, and whatever it is. But for that you cannot hide your identity. But what we are experiencing in every 2-3 days, you cannot believe in Assam. Every 2-3 days, almost in all districts, we are finding jihadis. We are getting a lot of anti-social activities, which is created by Muslims, which is owned by Muslims. So my question is, the jihad, which is written in the Quran, and Quran is also asked for to do war for everything. So is this jihad is planned? Is this jihad is a propaganda of Quran? Is this jihad is a conspiracy of Arabians? Thousands years of conspiracy of Arabians? Is this so? And this type of questions I raised in the book.
Can I ask you? You said there are some antisocial behaviors where Muslims are engaged. Could you please elaborate on that? For example, give me some examples.
See, what I said, like antisocial activities, like they used to change their names and they used to kidnap the Hindu girls.
Right.
Number one, and they used to like destroy mandir in different places of Assam and India. They used to like give trainings to local peoples who are non-believers.
Do you think this has? Do you believe that this is coming from the Quranic teaching?
Yes. What I doubt because in Quran it is written that you cannot make friends with non-believers.
Right. Okay.
And in the same Quran it said that you have to show toughness in you so the non-believers can feel the fear.
Right. Okay. Mr. Satyaranjan, would you have the Quran in front of you?
I have Assamese and English translation
Okay, take it. I think if you take the English, that will be helpful.
English is in my mobile actually.
Okay, if you take the Assamese, it's fine as well.
Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah.
Tell me, sir. Yes, sir.
Would you open Surah number 7 for me, please?
Surah 7.
Yeah.
Surah 7, yes.
Yeah. Would you open verse number 56 for me, please?
56. Yes.
Would you read it out for me, please?
Yes, it is written. I know.
Okay.
Allah said, yeah, it is said, in this world, you are not like you gandagol no koriba, means you are not to create this kind of situations.
Right.
For the sake of establishment of peace.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I know.
And what is your take about it?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's okay.
Now, other thing is,
I am not minimizing the fact.
no, I understand. But other thing is, I am pretty sure that as you have written a book, you probably tried, I'm not sure whether you did, you tried to read the Quran according to the timeline order of the surahs. Have you done that?
Yes.
Okay. Would you know what is the last revealed surah of the Quran or the verse?
Sorry?
Would you know which is the last revealed surah or verse of the Quran? Would you know that?
Last revealed?
Surah or verse of the Quran?
Just a minute. It is what? Manav Jati is for a humankind?
Yeah, I mean, what is the last chapter of Quran or verse of the Quran? Would you know that? Which one is the last surah revealed?
It is Al-Nas.
Is the last revealed surah?
Yes, 114.
Oh, is the last? What is the last verse? Would you know the last verse?
Yes, 6.
Sorry?
It was the 6.
No, what is the last verse? What is the last verse, sir? What is the last verse?
That is what?
Okay. No, I think... No. No, I don't think you are getting it, sir. What I'm trying to say is...
Sorry.
The last revealed surah, that means the revelation timeline order. The Quran is not organized according to revelation timeline order in the code, in the codex that you have in your hand, and the chapter which are organized in a manner are not according to the revelation timeline order. The very last surah, chapter, and the verse, the last chapter of the verse is surah number 5, which is called Surah Maida, of verse 3. The difference between Surah Maida and the other surahs are, Surah Maida was revealed at a time when Muslims have formed a state, and the laws of already prevalent orders during war were abrogated or suspended, and the new orders were given. So, Surah number 5 is for peace times. So if you read Surah number 5, if you open it with me, Surah Maida, and if you open Surah number 5, verse number 2, the second verse. Have you opened it? Could you be able to open it for me, please?
Yes. I am with Maida.
Yeah. Okay. If you read the number 2 verse for all the viewers, it will be great. I will be grateful. Yes. Verse number 2 of the Surah Maida, which is peaceful time after the war is over. And these are the last revealed surahs, verses I'm talking to you about.
Yeah, it is in Assamese. Now, how I can read for you in English?
Okay, if I understand Assamese, go ahead.
Okay, you understand Assamese?
Yes, I do. Right. That means in short, it means you cannot be aggressors. You cannot cooperate with aggression. It is because during the peaceful times. When Muslims are talking about jihad, when they are at peace, it is not ordained for Muslims to attack anyone, because we are not ordered to cooperate in aggression. So the chapters the verses you were talking about, where you were talking about jihad and all, those are all during the war times. And also, as I started with Surah 7, verse 56, it says that you must not also transgress. That means you must not be disproportionate in using force. So these are the prevalent strategic order of modern day warfare. And the other thing is, you mentioned about not befriending any other non-Muslims. A friend.
May I intervene here?
Yes, go on.
See, I have no doubt that a lot of things are here in Quran. See, I read the Quran. I go through this and see this, it may not be in written in order. That is okay. But the fact is, can you deny the reality? My question is, can you deny the reality?
Mm-hmm. What is the reality?
Can you deny what we are facing? Because what I said, what I have seen, what I experienced in.
Okay, I will explain. I will answer that to you if you want me. If you give me time, I will.
Yes,
I live in the UK, and I have also lived in USA. I also live part of my time in Canada. Here, Muslims are number in Europe about 14% in the European population, which is almost the same where Muslims are in India. Here, in America, Muslims are amongst the highest educated, and they are the wealthiest, among the wealthiest. So the contribution is enormous for Muslims. Among Muslims, there is one scholar called Ibn Rushd. Have you heard the name of Ibn Rushd?
Yes.
You have. You have heard the name of Ibn Rushd.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about Ibn Rushd?
Just a minute. I am finding something for you in terms of UK.
No, I will come to that. I will give you time, but now I'm asking you some questions, so I will also hear you again. I will hear you again. Don't worry about it. I'm not in a hurry. So my question was, have you heard about Ibn Rushd?
I just heard somewhere. I don't know much about him.
Okay. Ibn Rushd is the man who gave the world Aristotle, Plato, and their writings, and he translated them into Arabic, and later on they were translated into Latin. So this man, according to Cambridge University, is the most influential man who influenced European Renaissance and philosophy. So Ibn Rushd is a rational thinker. His statue is there in the in several universities of Italy. So my question is, when Muslims throughout history have been peacemakers, and even in the West, they are overwhelming, not 99.9% Muslims are in peaceful. The question rather is, what we rather see that throughout history. I will listen to you, sir. I will listen to you. Let me finish, and I will give you time. Don't worry. I'm not in a hurry, as I said. I'm not in a hurry. I will listen to you 100%. I promise that. So as I said, throughout European history, we have seen atrocities committed by Christians. And also we have seen atrocities committed by several Arab invaders. We know about that. But you cannot blame Hitler. You cannot blame Germans for Hitler, can you? You cannot. You cannot blame Russians for Stalin. At the same time, you cannot blame many idiots for the whole community, for whatever atrocities might have committed. Whereas you told me at the beginning of this conversation that your wife is a Christian lady, whereas you also belong to BJP. According to Hindutva ideology, Christianity and Islam are not even recognized as religions. So they are considered foreign religions, which are not welcome as indigenous religions in India. We have seen a rise of Hindu fanaticism in India recently. And we have seen that Jai Sri Ram has become India's High Hitler. So rather, the atrocities and riots being carried out in Indian Hindu fanatics are well recorded around the world. The main problem is Hinduism is not a world religion. It is confined to India. So it is not being felt rest of the world. But according to all surveys, for example, according to all Christian major surveys, situations of Christians are worse in India than anywhere else in the world, apart probably Iraq or Afghanistan. So when Christians are better off in Bangladesh, Christians are better off in Pakistan, Muslim nations, then how can you claim Muslims are being problematic? And as you said, Muslim boys, you said kidnapping Hindu women. So even if a Muslim boy kidnaps a Hindu woman, how do you blame Islam for that? Because Islam doesn't agree to that, doesn't allow that. Go ahead. I'm listening to you now. Go on.
Sir. I'm not surprised because your versions are saying with what I am being said from the time of the release of this book. There is no difference in between your version and
your camera has frozen. Your camera has frozen.
My camera is closed.
Frozen. Can you touch your camera again? Yeah.
Just a minute.
Thank you. Yeah.
Can you hear me actually?
I can, but I would love to see you as well. I cannot see you. You're hazy. Something because your camera screen is holding something. I don't know whether you're reading something or your camera is being held, frozen.
Maybe. Just a minute. I'm just reading something for you actually.
We are talking candidly. So if you can give me your arguments, I'm here to listen to your arguments.
Just a minute. Let me write it down then.
Okay.
You have time, right?
Yes, I do. I'll give you time.
Yeah, can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you. Go ahead.
Okay. So, what I said, your version is saying what I'm saying from the time of the release of my book. And when you say it like India is not respecting like a Christians or Muslims in India.
Yeah.
Can you tell me one thing?
Yeah.
In India, we never, or you can say any Indian king who never go outside the India, the greater India, what you say, even in the Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, if you consider all these things.
Yeah.
None of any Hindu king went to spread the religion because Hindu is not a religion. And
I'll tell you why. But I will tell you why. I will tell you why, sir.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Just a minute, sir. And for the name of religion, and Hindu is not a religion, in fact. And it is named as a religion by some other people, but people are not accepting these things because of their own limitations. There is no doubt about it. And see, we never attack on like Muslims and Christians in India. Britishers are India, and we accept. Muslims, they came to India, we accept what I said in the earlier. And you said like Jai Sri Ram has became like the Hitler of India.
Yep.
I just recite one thing for you. You may know Hamid Umar Dalwai. He is from Maharashtra, and he was a journalist. He is no more. In a book, Muslim Politics in Secular India, in that book he has written, I just read it in Assamese, as you can understand.
I can, yes.
So what I quoted in my book also, what Hamid Umar Dalwai written, মই এজন মুছলমান সম্প্ৰদায়ৰ লোক, তৎসত্ত্বেও মই হিন্দু সাম্প্ৰদায়িক সকলক একপক্ষীয়ভাৱে বদনামী কৰিব নোখোজো। জাষ্ট লিসেন। হিন্দু সম্প্ৰদায়ক ধ্বংস কৰিবলৈ মুছলিম সন্ত্ৰাসবাদীৰ পৰিকল্পিত আগ্ৰাসী আঁচনি থকাৰ বিপৰীতে হিন্দুসকলে মুছলিম সন্ত্ৰাসবাদীসকলৰ দিয়া প্ৰতিক্ৰিয়াৰ আত্মৰক্ষামূলকভাৱে মুছলমান সম্প্ৰদায়ৰ অস্তিত্বক অস্বীকাৰ কৰিবলৈ বিচাৰে। Just the first pair. He said, now if you said Hindus became radical because of the experience, because of what we are behaving by the Muslims in India, this is because what written by this person. And he also
he died in 1968, and as I remember, he was born in 1919. 1919. I know the gentleman. I know his work. I know his work. I know his work, and he was also a member of the RSS, if I remember.
that is a different thing, sir. That is a different
No,
thing.
what I'm trying to say is,
You cannot deny the fact.
no, what I'm trying to say is,
when someone used to speak the truth, you said he's from RSS.
no, I'm just trying to say that we are agreeing on the same person that we are talking about. We can agree that we are. You know that I know the person. Probably you understand that. So what I'm trying to say is, there is no way a crime doesn't pay by committing another crime. If somebody committed a crime, you cannot solve it by doing another crime.
Yes, we never did that.
No, what I'm trying to say is, if you read the history, if you read the history, may I finish? Yeah.
You give me the time.
I will. I'm not in a hurry, as I said, sir. I'm not in a hurry. I will give you plenty of time. If you read the history for at least last 200 years, for example, I'll give an example. The Babri Mosque issue didn't even come before 1853. It didn't even surface in history. So
No, I interrupt here. See, I am taking the history of India from the time of Chanakya.
okay, all right.
I am not taking the history
Okay,
of
all right. Okay, well, I'll do that. But I'm talking to you about independent history, independent recorded history.
No. See. My India is
It's my India as well. Your India is my India as well, because I'm part of the Indian subcontinent.
If you accept that, then please accept this, my feelings. Like, I am a person who believe in Indian culture, which is a 8,000
What is Indian culture, sir? I will tell you what is Indian culture. A culture is something. Our culture is. I'm proud of my Indian subcontinental Bengali culture. I'm proud of it. Okay, let me be clear of that. But proud in the sense that I can help it. I was born in it. Okay, I was born in it. But something that I had no credit for, I cannot take pride in it. I was born in Bangladesh. I was born in Indian subcontinent. I didn't have any credit for that because I didn't choose for it. I was born in it. So I cannot take pride in something in the manner of ultranationalism or fascism when I had no choice in the decision making. So I cannot be proud to the sense of belittling other civilizations, or in the sense of thinking my culture is perfect, it cannot be redressed, it doesn't need any more correction, it doesn't need any more enhancement. So that kind of understanding is fascism, cultural fascism. I'm not in favor of that. So, for example, that I believe the Indian subcontinental culture was, to a lot extent, disgusting, because still we are suffering from it. For example, in your own country, instead of worrying about what Islam has committed against Indian culture, rather say what good it has brought. My forefathers, like many other Bangladeshi Muslims, were born of, say, Hindu origin. and we had untouchabilities, and there are 170 million Indians who are still considered untouchables in your country. You still have that problem. 24% of Indian population are higher caste, who control 75% of the economy. So these are the problems which you still have. You're suffering from your own Hindu related problem. Now, the other tradition that we had, for example, Satidaho, and in Hindu, Muslims and Christians, for example, beginning with Humayun and ending with Raja Ramakrishna, Ram Mohan Roy, and other British rulers, they helped India to get rid of evil cultures. For example, widows couldn't get benefits. Widows couldn't get inheritance. Still in India, female fetuses are being terminated. Sir, I will finish and I will hear you again. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. I will finish. I finished my point. Even if you get it, I'll finish my point. I will finish my point. No, I'll finish my point. I will finish my point. I will listen to you as well. I will not interfere. As I said, I will not interrupt, but I will finish my point. So no, I did not. But if I did, I will give you time again. So as I said, that when we saw before the British and the Muslims, the Muslims came, and when they became Muslims started standing shoulder to shoulder in prayer. When you go to Hajj, you see people, regardless of ethnic differences and cultural differences, they pray shoulder to shoulder. Now, Hindus are still trying to come over it. They're trying to find ways that this is not in the books, this is not in the scripture, but still Hinduism is something which is based on traditions, Sriti, Shruti, Riti. We all know that, but even the crippled or the disabled couldn't get an inheritance from Indian culture. So rather, Islam has helped millions of Muslims, people, especially people of lower caste. So what is the problem? I don't understand. And again, you cannot such simply expect Muslims or anyone to drop their right to follow any religion, right to follow any culture. But BJP's Hindutva philosophy rather requires Muslims to adjust and accept Indian culture. And for example, wearing sindoor, you will expect my wife to wear sindoor. My question is why? If I want, my wife wants to wear the hijab, even if it appears to you to be Arabic, why and how does it harm you? If India is a nation which believes in multiculturalism, then you should be very well suited with it. I will listen to you now.
You are not actually. Once you read my book, then you will get all the answers to your questions.
You tell me now.
In India,
you tell me now.
When I said I have no problem with Muslims. I have no problem with Islam. I said earlier, but I have problem in like when someone in India, being in India and born in India, if someone like says for eyes for like some other country which is not related to India,
but Indians are worshipping in India. Indians are worshipping.
Indians are worshipping in India. Indians are doing for India.
No, Indians living in the UK are living in many ways Indian tradition.
That is okay.
That's okay.
Sir, if someone going to do some business in
no, they're settled here. Okay. There are 1.5 million Indians settled here.
That is okay. But
okay.
They are not trying to spread their religion ideology in anywhere.
Who told you that? No.
Because my thinking,
have you lived in the West?
Now see. You have said a lot of things. Now let me
okay.
tell you. See. So, I have no you bring the same points, the BJP and the RSS.
No, we're talking about. Let's talk about Islam. Let's talk about Islam.
I don't want to talk on this because
you don't want to talk about it.
I just want to talk on my topic of the book.
Okay, go talk to me about Islam. Talk to me about Islam. Okay, talk to me about Islam. Talk to me about Islam.
And every time I'm so sorry, I suppose you could be different, but I'm so sorry. You became the same person.
How?
Whom I made in a lot of debates because same people, same person saying.
I'm giving you respect, sir.
My
I'm giving you the respect. Tell me complaints about Islam, sir. I'm giving you respect. Go ahead. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Let me finish now.
Yeah, go ahead.
So now you are taking the history of 200 years. No, I am not agree with that. My India's history cannot be of 200 years. My India history is 8,000 years. It is 8,000 years history.
What are you proud of?
No one can deny this.
What are you proud of?
When Muslims came to India, and if Indian history, if you read the Indian history, you can feel the pain of Hindu women.
Those are invaders. Those are invaders. Can you blame Germany for Hitler?
That is an ordinary argument.
No, how is it ordinary argument? Can you blame Christians for crusade? Can you blame Jesus for crusade?
Lot of Muslim kings came to India and they destroyed the Indian
well, those are individuals. You cannot blame the religion for that. You cannot blame the religion for that. That you cannot blame fallen. No, I'm just trying to tell you. Can you blame? No, can you blame rotten people for the ideology? How does it make sense?
UK is very peaceful. Then why UK whom has threat 23,000 jihadis? Radio the time.co.uk. The Times.
If I will tell you that. I will tell you. UK is one of the. You ask me a question. Give me one by one. Ask me one by one.
I have listened to you very peacefully.
No, ask me one by one.
Please listen. I did not interrupt when you were talking.
If you ask me a question, I have to answer. If you comment, that's fine.
You take my question.
Okay.
And you will give the answer when your time.
Okay, that's fine. Go on.
Now this is the question.
Okay.
The point is, no one is saying that you have to take the sindoor. No one. Even in my book, I never said you have to use the sindoor. You have to become the Hindu. I know. I never said that in my book. In my book, what I write is, be a Muslim. You believe in Islam, no doubt about it, no point about it. But why you cannot be a good friend of mine?
Who told you we cannot?
Why you cannot think for Assam? Why you cannot think for India?
I am your friend.
Why you behave?
I am your friend.
You are from somewhere else.
I can be your friend.
You can be a friend, but sir.
Does the Quran stop me? Does Quran stop me? No. Quran says wali. The word is wali. Wali means spiritual.
Quran is not saying.
I'm telling you.
And you say
read the Quran. It says spiritual friend. You cannot be my spiritual guide, sir.
Nothing else. Nothing is spirituality is here.
Yes, it is.
There is no spirituality in Quran.
Yes, there is.
No
of course.
Spirituality in Quran.
Of course there is.
No. Otherwise, no. Because
what is ruh, Allah? What is ruh?
Created on war.
What is ruh?
Created on war. Just let me write
what is ruh?
line for me. It is in Bengali. Just let me write a line for you. It is in Bengali. It is written by Concord Singha.
Mm-hmm.
Singha, what he said like.
Have you read the book Spirit of Islam?
What is said like.
Have you read the book Spirit of Islam, written by one of your Indians? Do you know who wrote that?
Just tell me.
Have you heard the name of the book, Spirit of Islam?
Just tell me, sir.
Yeah. I'm still trying to find out your arguments against Islam. I haven't heard it yet.
A lot of things because you are trying to ignore my question.
No, I'm not ignoring your question at all.
That is okay.
I haven't ignored. The people are watching. I haven't ignored a single question.
That is okay, sir. That is okay.
No, give me a question about Islam. Islam. You said about jihad at the beginning, which you rebutted. You told me about invaders. I said those are rotten people. So how do you blame Islam for that?
You are trying to divert divert
No,
the
I'm
thing.
not. I'm not. You cannot blame Jesus for crusades. That's the argument.
তাহলে তাদের প্লিজ তাহলে তাদের ধর্মানুসরী ইহুদি ও খ্রিস্টানদের কেন পরিণত করা হলো মুসলিমদের চিরকালের শত্রু রূপে? কুরআনে স্পষ্ট নির্দেশ আছে মুসলমানরা যেন কোনো অবস্থাতেই ইহুদি ও খ্রিস্টানদের বন্ধু রূপে গ্রহণ না করেন।
You said you studied in madrasa.
Yes, up to class 7.
Read the Arabic for me. Do you know what is wali? Do you know what is wali?
করুণাময় আল্লাহর এই কি বিধান কুরআনে আরব ভূমিতে ইহুদি
No, you're reading from a book, sir. You're reading from a book. I'm telling you the Quran. Have you read the Quran?
No, see, you are not when you are
What
not
is-
listening to my
what is
point,
Habib?
There is no point of discussion. There is no point of discussion.
There's no point of discussion.
There is no point of discussion.
What is no point of discussion?
If you are not listening to me, there is no point of discussion. I can show you the books, what I have already, all your hadith and all what I am reading.
Sir, I'm not even going to the hadith. I'm asking you the Quran. I'm telling you, have you read the verse in Arabic?
But a lot of things I have already, sir. If you are not like going to my point, there is no point.
You are saying the same thing. I'm saying the same thing. You said the friend, the word friend. Do you know the Arabic of it?
Forget about the Arabic.
Oh, forget it. You said there is no spirituality in Quran. I'm just telling you, I know 5 Arabic of the word friend. They carry different meanings.
Because a lot of people now I think I should stop the discussion because you are in the same line.
You should stop the discussion. I'm giving you time. You want to run away.
No, if you no, I'm not running away. I just want to say you that
I'm just asking you. I have asked you several times. Give me arguments against Islam. You have come up with 3 things, and I'm trying to rebuttal that. So give me give me one thing that says that you don't like Islam. This is the reason.
All conversation is recorded, sir.
Yes, of course.
Conversations are recorded.
Yes.
All conversations are recorded.
Give me arguments against Islam. You have written a book.
I have given a lot of things, sir. You are
You said jihad. I've already.
You are talking about 200 years India history. No. India
I will tell you. You want to go back to 1,000 years history, sir? Okay, we'll go for 1,000 years.
That cannot be accepted.
Okay, 1,000 years?
That cannot be accepted.
1,000 years?
Cannot be
I'll go back 1,000 years with you. I'll go back 1,000 years with you. You want to go back to 1,000 years?
Yes, India has 1,000 years.
Okay, I will go back to 1,000 years. I will go back to 1,000 years history. I will.
accept that.
No, I will go back to 1,000 years history.
When Chanakya was there, is there any Muslim in India?
I will go back 1,000 years. So what? There was no Muslim. So what?
See, no. There is no so what. Don't say
So what? So what?
When Chanakya was
A religion
in
can
India,
come.
Is any Muslim was in India?
So Islam can come. What is wrong?
Is there any one Muslim?
What is wrong?
Tell me.
What is wrong in Islam
Tell
coming?
me, sir. This is point.
Only 500 years ago, there was no Hindu in England.
You are radical. You cannot accept the truth.
Okay, 200 years ago, I'll tell you what. Tell you
Chanakya
this.
was in India,
Can you
when
tell me,
Chanakya
was there any
in
Hindu
India,
during
is there any
Shakespeare?
Muslim?
Okay, I will give you the answer. Can I give you the answer?
Any Muslim in India?
Can I give you the
Is
answer?
there any Muslim in India?
I'll give you the
No,
answer.
no, no.
Can I give you the
Just
answer?
tell me yes or no. Just tell me
No,
yes.
can I-
or
can I
no.
give you the
When
answer?
Chanakya was in- Sorry?
Can I give you the answer?
No. See,
I cannot give you the answer.
just tell me when.
So you are asking me a question. Can I give you the answer? Do you want me to give you the
Yeah,
answer?
please.
Okay. The first Muslim came during Prophet Muhammad's time. That's it. That's the first Muslim came. He was still alive. And he built the first mosque in India. Okay?
He was still alive.
Yes, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was still alive. And again, you don't agree with that.
But
I'll give you the proof. I'll give you the
what do
proof.
you say? He's alive for 1,000 years.
No, you didn't get it. The first Muslim convert in India was a king who was during the time of the Sahabas. Do you know who Sahabas are?
I'm talking about the time of Chanakya.
I'm just telling you that that's the first time ever. Okay?
When Chanakya was in India, there was no Islam.
I'm just telling you. And again.
There was no
No, so
Islam.
what?
There was no
Even
Islam.
for argument's sake, so what?
Not so what? Not
So what? So
No,
what?
this is
Really?
this is
So
what-
how come there was no
India is
ISKCON?
sir.
There was no ISKCON 50 years ago in England.
No.
So?
I think I'm actually
There was no
wasting
ISKCON 50 years
time.
ago.
Sorry,
There was
sir.
no Hindu during Shakespeare in England.
No, sorry, sir.
So what? How is that argument?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just find my time for you. I see someone.
No, it doesn't make sense. If Muslims were not here 1,000 years ago, so what? How does it make? How is it an argument?
No. Sorry. You cannot like simply ignore the Sanekal like taking so what.
So you are telling me? No, you are telling me that Islam. Okay, can I understand your question? 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 You will listen to me or not? You don't want to listen to me. You don't want to listen to me. You are going to run away now. You cannot be running away now. You are running away now. Shakespeare, there was no Hindu during Shakespeare.
I am just not talk to you. I just don't
You don't want
want
to talk to me
because you cannot.
I cannot what?
You cannot simply say Sanekal. So what?
I'm just telling you that there was no Muslim even during Chanakya's time. So what? So what? How is that argument? How does it make sense?
I will send my book.
How does that make sense? How does it make sense?
You can read, you won't.
Even Islam was not here. Even if Islam was not here yesterday, so what?
Sorry, sir. Good day.
How is that possible? What kind of argument is this man saying? Exposed, I guess, because they will always run away. When you corner them into argument, they will always run away. His argument was, as you heard, there was no Islam during Chanakya's time. I said, so what? Islam can come yesterday in a country. So there was no Hindu in England during Shakespeare's time. How is that an argument? How does that make sense? He said that there was no Islam before Chanakya's time. So he's trying to say there was no Islam before, so there shouldn't be. Islam is a foreign thing. So what? So what? A better culture can come. So that is the problem. They will not accept any kind of Puritan movement. You know why? Any kind of clarification movement, any kind of better culture, because these people are ultra-fascists, these people are ultra-nationalists, and they're religious bigots. They will not accept that Islam is here and Islam has saved people like my forefathers, and Islam has saved us from disgusting traditional cultures that India had dumped on us. He just ran away again. They always do. Rewind this video and you will see how false and weak his arguments were. Thank you for listening. Get another one. Bring him in.